Dear students, thank you for staying with us. Again, we have started the session. I think right now it will be clear that it is visible to everyone. Don't comment anymore. Just continue with the class. Sir, you can continue with your class, sir.
Sure. So dear students, just for repeating, probably the screen wouldn't have been clear then. Just for the just to revisit whatever you missed. We were just getting into the finance side of SAP, and we were trying to understand what is our role and what is the importance of the finance module in SAP or in the real projects, right? So as I was telling, once when a person decides to become a SAP professional and he takes up the finance module as his expertise, he can no longer remain only as a finance consultant. In his growth, he also mandatorily, compulsorily also needs to understand the CO module also. Now, so your dual responsibility in any will be your finance and your management accounting modules. Clear? So you as a consultant, not as an end user, this I'm talking about generally. So tomorrow, you people, though you may be CMA professionals, you may want to become FI consultants, SAP consultants, or you may want to still pursue your CMA. That's fair enough. Okay, so you want to pursue your own costing side. Wonderful. Now, so ultimately, when some of you decide to become experts in the SAP field, when you want to take up finance as a part of your SAP expertise, you need to also, along with your CMA theoretical knowledge, you need to apply the same knowledge in your CO mode. So CO becomes your expertise in your SAP. Because you're also equally qualified, you're going to become CMA professionals, and lots will be expected from you specialists. Because you're very well equipped theoretically also, how you will understand the costing side of the business, and the same thing you will apply in your CO module in your SAP. Did you understand the connect? If you do, if you have still not got clarity on this, please put up your questions in the Q&A section. So we will take it up at the appropriate time. Now coming back to the finance module, I'm talking only about the finance module. All right. What do we have? We have the submodules under finance. So we have submodules under the CO module also. We'll come to it later. But under the finance module, you have accounts receivables, actually general ledger should have come first. Okay, let me do it in an order. It goes like this. The first and the foremost thing what you need to understand in the finance side of SAP is what is a general ledger? I think you are already experts in understanding what is a general ledger, but from the SAP side, to understand the finance topic is a little different. Though it's the theoretical accounting concepts, the same words will be used, but there's a connection breaking. You're all able
Yes, sir. Your voice
to
is
hear
getting
me.
break. I don't know. Your voice is breaking, sir.
Now am I clear? Audible?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Perfect. For you to understand the finance side of SAP, it's a little different. Not from the content of or understanding per se, it is the same thing. Whatever accounting concepts, whatever the accounting rules, whatever you have studied in your BCom or in your CME, whatever it is, the same thing should be applied in SAP also. Logical, right? The rules cannot be different in SAP. The same thing, whatever you're doing in your accounting functions in a normal way, the same thing have to be delivered in SAP. But probably you need to get used to the new terms. So even before we start talking about any module, we saw a very interesting term. Just hold on, I will try to look for that. Guys, is my voice audible?
Sir, it is audible, but I don't know why sometimes it get break or whatever network issue might be.
Okay, okay. You're also able to see the screens.
Screen is
I'm
visible, sir.
focusing on unit number 3, the slide,
Yeah,
the
Unit 3
course
Finance
content.
Accounting Overview.
Perfect, perfect. Now this is the place from where we take off our understanding of the financial accounting module in SAP. Let us see what it has got. The concepts in your ECC SAP and HANA SAP is the same. ECC SAP concepts is not different from your HANA SAP concepts. It is the same.
Sir, can you share the
Yes,
screens
please.
again? Actually, it got
Oh,
stopped, I think.
okay. Now you're able to see.
Yeah, visible. Listen, one. Correct, sir.
So can you see the new terms? Overview of a financial accounting, FI. Parallel accounting. What is parallel accounting? So like this, you will come across various new terms. Identify the financial accounting concepts in SAP S4 HANA. Forget about HANA. Now, as I said, The finance concepts will not at all change. Even tomorrow, if SAP changes over to something else, today it is HANA, yesterday it was ECC, today it is HANA, tomorrow it could be something else. The conceptual understanding or the building blocks in any of the modules will not change at all. Conceptually, absolutely no change at all. Now, we'll slowly take up what is parallel accounting. Okay, you may come across various things. Now, on Friday, if you remember, people who have attended or people who have not attended the Friday session, still okay, not to take things, not to worry too much. Now, basically, I said both your FI and your CO modules, you have the same expert. Now, why FI and CO2 different modules? When you are talking about the general ledger, when you're talking about the finance module, financial accounting has the task to meet the legal requirements. I think I need not have to tell you, you are experts. You have your financial reports, correct? You'll have which your business has to submit to the legal bodies or to the legal authorities, correct? So if anybody remembers, I used the term external reporting, and your finance module helps you to cater to the legal requirements of the business. You need to generate your profit and loss account, your trial balance, your balance sheet. Now, what is it? Now I'll put this point a little. You generate the balance sheet. What do you do with that? You submit your financial results to your auditor, your shareholders or to your stakeholders, government agencies. Correct? You agree with me? Now, who are these people? Do they belong to the business? No. These bodies are legal creations, and you will have to definitely report your business results to these particular entities, but they are external they are external to your business body. They are not a part of your business. That is why it is called as external reporting. You basically generate your reports in finance module to satisfy the legal requirements of your business. Now, what does a CO module do then? CO module is for your internal reporting only. And why is it required? This is required for the top level management reporting to enable them to take strategic decisions as regards the productivity, profitability, and various other decisions. And this remains within the organization. And that is why it is called as the internal reporting. The reports, whatever you generate in your CO module, this is also called as the management accounting module. Management accounting module. The CO module or the controlling module is alternatively also called as the management accounting module. Clear? We are going to look at the CO module maybe once we are through with the finance module. The basic and the very critical understanding is the understanding of the finance module. Here again, we have an integration between the finance and the controlling modules. How the data is flowing. How the data flows. Now we looked at the example of the purchasing cycle and the sales cycle. Now, how the information, what is the methodology used in SAP to connect the finance and the CO modules. Very interesting. So we will look into. Clear? Are you understanding the how SAP is actually designed? Any questions out here? Please ask questions then and there. Okay, please put it up in the Q&A section. So I will be taking up those questions at the appropriate time. Don't bother about don't feel that whatever I'm asking is very silly, or my question may sound very silly to the audience. It's okay. It is absolutely okay. You can repeat the question any number of times. Okay. All I want you to understand is how the total product looks like, how the total SAP product looks like. Even before we understand the finance module or the CO module or the integration or the SD, whatever it is, you need to understand how the product is designed and what is the ultimate goal. Clear? That is what you need to understand at this level. Clear? So I hope and I assume that people would have understood these points. Any difficulty? Please put up your questions in the Q&A section and I will take it. Yeah. So let me go back to so like this, what I'll try to do is I will pick up the few things from the slides from your course content and explain them. Can you see? Clear? So as and when you read this particular slides, you will have more clarity. With my explanation, I think the things should be very simple to understand. Clear? So now I said the finance module gets broken down into various submodules. One is the primary thing is your general ledger module, submodule, AR, AP, assets, banking, treasury, taxes. So you have so many things under the finance module. So that's why I said if learning SAP is a lifelong process. It does not end today, it does not end tomorrow, it does not end at any point in time. See, we were all experts in the ECC side. Now HANA came up. So there's a new learning. So for you people, you may move from HANA to something else. So even for us, even for the experienced people in SAP, the learning never stops. If at all you want to grow, and this applies to every field now. Do you agree with me? Correct, right? So whatever may be your field, may or may not be SAP, something else, fair enough, no problem. Yeah, so this is exactly what, and I would say, I would think twice to, or maybe say more than twice, to really tell if I know SAP. If somebody asks me, do you know SAP completely? I don't think anybody will agree. Anybody will say yes. Because the learning is so very huge and it is so very incomplete. Today you have a business challenge, tomorrow it is new. You solve today's business challenge, tomorrow there is something else. Yesterday it was VAT, it was VAT system of taxation. Today it is GST, tomorrow it is something else. So do you see the learning process? It never ends. Clear? And as I said, once you spend more and more time on SAP, expectations will be growing. People will start expecting from you more and more. All right. The GL is managed at the company code level. Now do you see that there is a new term called as company code? What is this company code level? So now I need to introduce you. Just see how I'm connecting it. So even before you need to understand how one module talks to another, you need to understand how exactly the system is designed. Now, what is a company code? Every module in SAP, has something called as a organizational structure. Now, what is this organizational structure? You join any company, right? You join an organization. You are a, let us say you get absorbed in a company or absorbed in an organization as a junior consultant. Yeah. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. So you are taken into a organization at the junior level consultant. Whom do you report to? Do you directly report to your vice president? No. You report to your immediate superior. He could be your senior consultant. Your senior consultant may report to your team lead. Let me just. All right. So this could be your organizational structure. I'm just taking an example. I'm not necessarily telling that this is the organizational structure. No, this could be your reporting structure, right? Now, as I said, when we spoke about the integration, integration is what? Integration is communication between two modules. Let me just. So I wrote down another simple definition of integration: communication between two or more modules in SAP. FI talking to HR, FI talking to purchase, FI talking to sales, FI talking to the production department, correct? So how the communication is happening and how the data is flowing. How the data is flowing from one module to another module is referred to as your organizational structure. The flow of the data between two or more modules. So if you have any issues, you as a junior consultant, will you directly go and talk to your practice head? Not at all. You will put across your concern through a senior consultant. He will report to the team lead. He will report to the project manager or to the project lead. Project manager will, if it is very, very serious, he will report to the delivery manager. So this is your flow of information within your organization. Similarly, you have something called as an organizational structure to manage the flow of data. So normally you saw this company code, the word company code. What is this company code? Now in one of the slides, maybe in one of the business processes, you saw some word called as client. Let me just go back to it if I can. 275th page. Just hold on. I will try to look for that. As I said, I will revisit all the slides. Don't worry. I just wanted to show you that word client. And what meaning does it have in SAP? Oh, I'm in a different topic. Just hold on, people. Just to add, What is the slide? And we are still in the business processes, which I said I'm going to deal with it later. Now, just for an explanation. Now, as I said, there were earlier products to SAP, right? You had earlier ERPs also, PeopleSoft, you had uh, BAN, you had so many other ERP softwares. Now, how did the SAP system become so very robust while gaining the market share? I said it was the integration. Now, how did SAP stabilize or become so very robust in its uh, integration? It is because, see, Ariba, Concur, SuccessFactors, they were all earlier companies which expertised in something. For example, SuccessFactors, it deals more with the HR specialization. Ariba, logistics. So like this, whatever you are seeing there, Ariba, Concur, SuccessFactors, Fieldglass, okay, they were all the companies taken over by SAP and applying these concepts or applying these capabilities delivered by each of the companies to its SAP product and making the integration concept more and more robust. Okay, so it says, what is Ariba? Internet-based trading company to help companies discover and collaborate with a global network of partners. Using the SAP Ariba network, businesses of all sizes can connect to their trading partners. See now, Concur, what does it? It is combining your travel expenses, which is such an integral part, how SAP has automated that process. Now, whenever you travel, let me say your organization is sending you out to some other state or to some other country. Now, what would you do? Earlier, you would put expense one, expense two, expense three, food, your rent, whatever, room rent, whatever, and submit it to your company. Now, suppose I eat, I have my lunch or I have my dinner somewhere where my company has posted me. I simply need to scan the invoice and put it up in the SAP system. I don't even have to submit it. I don't even have to have an exclusive thing because the system captures all the information. It captures the geography of the place also. Suppose I'm in Bengaluru, I'm posted, say, somewhere outside Mumbai, Delhi, or maybe say some foreign country. And while scanning, SAP picks up the location also, the time. See how beautifully SAP has taken over this concept from Concur, acquired that company, and built in the system. This is how you need to understand this, friends. And I say success factors is more towards your HR. Clear? So this is how SAP has built up its integration is through these particular acquisitions. So these things were all earlier companies which SAP has acquired to strengthen its integration powers. Clear? Actually, I came here to look for a specific word. Let me know, and I saw something interesting, and I started explaining it. Okay. Yeah, this is the place where we saw it. This is exactly your record to report process is your integration between your finance and your management accounting. Just hold on, have patience. I will come back to this topic. OK, I am just browsing through this contents so that I start with the finance. I think we found that in the purchase process IDs, source to pay. I think we saw that. See, just to add more information about SAP, I'll come back to the finance department a little later. So we saw, if you remember, we saw a term called as parallel accounting. Now, let me go through. What is a company code? You saw the earlier statement saying that at the company code level, your financial activities start from the company code level. What is a company code then? Your company code is nothing but a legal company, a legal entity which you create in the SAP system. For example, you are implementing SAP for Reliance. What is Reliance? Reliance is a legally recognizable entity under the Companies Act. Correct? So since I am implementing SAP for Reliance, shouldn't I construct the Reliance company in my SAP system? So your Reliance becomes the legal entity within the SAP system, which is called as so what is the company code? A legal entity. It is a company as per your registrar of companies. So once when I start, let me say I start a company called as Measures XYZ Limited. So I simply cannot open that company, right? I need to get this registered. So I need to recognize that as a legal body so that I can start my transactions. I can start my business, whatever it could be, whatever. So I create this in my SAP system. I create Measures XYZ Limited as a legal entity in SAP. Not only a legal entity, independently generate independently generate the financial results. It should be in a position to generate the balance sheet, the trial balance, whatever may be the financial documents or the financial results to be shown to the governmental authorities if the entity is able to create on its own. That creation is called as a company code in SAP. Okay? This is the core creation in our SAP and very much related to the finance person who creates the company code in SAP. It is the finance professional. No other expert, no other module expert can create a company code. Clear? Now, we are talking about an SAP system. Actually, this could be point number 3. Then what is point number 2 and 1? I'll expose you to the terms and then come back to my Excel sheet and explain. Smallest organizational unit for external accounting. You are familiar with this external reporting? I already explained what is external reporting. Now I think you are in a position to know what is a company code. Clear? If you still have questions, most welcome to ask. I'll come back to this later. Don't worry. Did we ever see something called as, see, why I'm not straight away getting into the finance is I just gave you a brief insight into what is integration. Now I'm going a step ahead to tell you what are the concepts which SAP caters to. See how beautifully this product is taking care of all the business requirements. Clear? Earlier you saw something called as a ledger. Now what is this ledger? This concept, guys, if you are confused, I'm making things as simple as possible. But now do you know how I'm feeding you with all the things what SAP is made up of? I have still not gone into the finance. I've just given you a brief insight into what is finance, but I have come back to telling you people what SAP has got in it so that you can carry out your businesses. Practical requirements. Now, let's imagine a scenario. You saw some word called as ledger, right? I'm about to give you a brief information on that. Just know that these things are existing in the SAP system. That is the only intent. What is a ledger? Now today, I have my business measures XYZ Limited, say in India, in Bengaluru. Tomorrow, I expand this business maybe to the US or some parts of Europe. My basic country is India. Once when I expand my business to the other countries, say to Dubai or maybe say US, say France, Germany, whatever, shouldn't my business satisfy the legal requirements of that particular country also? Now for suiting the Indian accounting principles, I have the Indian accounting standards. Now tomorrow, if I open my business or if I expand my business, say to the US, shouldn't I follow the American accounting requirements to establish my business there or to carry out my business there? So how do I simultaneously, it is the same business. It is Measures XYZ Limited India. It is Measures XYZ Limited US. It is Measures XYZ Limited France. It is Measures XYZ Limited Germany. It is Measures XYZ Limited Dubai. Right? It's the same parent entity. My business is spreading. So to meet the legal accounting requirements of that particular geographical location, I have the concepts called as ledgers. Where do I mention it? Okay, I'll make a note of it somewhere here. So one is Indian accounting standards, US GAAP, international financial accounting standards. So I need to cater to the legal requirements of my financial reporting for all the businesses wherever I have expanded. So does SAP offer me a solution? This is called as parallel accounting, parallel ledgers. So SAP has also given me a flexibility of reporting and satisfying the accounting legality in all the three places. I can have one ledger for the Indian accounting standards. I can have one ledger for the US reporting. I can have one for the Dubai reporting. I can have one for the European reporting. So I can have any, and this concept is called as your parallel ledgers. Now, when I have the concept of operating the businesses in my business in various countries, shouldn't SAP also offer me the flexibility of transacting in their respective currencies? Say US dollars, pounds, mark, Australian dollar, Kuwaiti dinar, wherever I want to operate my business, SAP should be in a position to offer me the flexibility of carrying out the transaction in that local currencies. In India, it is rupees. Correct? So what is this called? This concept is called as parallel currencies. So SAP gives me an advantage of satisfying the reporting requirement of various countries and as well as recording the transactions in their respective countries, in their respective currencies. Sorry. Clear? Don't you see that how wonderfully the product is built, the SAP product? Do you think there are these things happen in the business? It very much happens, right? So do you see how SAP has offered the solutions? Right? See, it says ledger 0L, ledger 12. This I will get into it little later. I just told you what is a ledger. I'll repeat the concept of ledgers again when we take up what is ledger 0L, what is the other ledgers 2L, 1L, 0L, whatever. Okay, let's not worry about it. See, you could have also seen. Did I see the word parallel currencies also? Accounting principles. I thought I saw something called as currencies also. Okay, not a problem. Yeah, did I see it here? Profit center. No. Segment reporting. We'll come to it a little later. All right. Profit centers, cost centers, segments. I'll take it up at the appropriate moment. Not when I take up the management accounting, it comes there. Okay. What is a profit center? What is a cost center? What is a segment? Okay. Source to pay. Step-by-step understanding of the source to pay. I'm not going to go in detail. I said I'm going to put this on hold and go back to my finance. Just hold on. I'm looking for a particular word. See, organizational structure. Did you understand? See, client. This is exactly what I was searching. Client. Now, what is a client? So this is number one. So any organizational structure, any module in SAP will have a unique organizational structure. And the first and the foremost node or the starting point for any of the organizational structures is your client. What is a client? A logical space in the it is a logical space allotted to a specific user in the relevant SAP system. Now, what did I mean by this? Let me say I have 10 members working in the finance department. Okay. They are all using the SAP system. All right. Now, how will the system identify who's who? Now, suppose my supervisor wants to identify who has entered a specific transaction. Let it be a journal voucher, a simple journal voucher. How does my supervisor know that Mr. X or Mr. Y or Mr. Z has entered this particular journal voucher? So every user in an SAP system is identified by a user ID. And now what is a client? Now I'm in charge of, I'm a consultant. Okay. I'm managing 3 projects. One project for Mrs. A Limited. I'm implementing SAP for Mrs. B Limited. I'm implementing SAP for Mrs. C Limited. Clear? So how does the system understand that it is for project A, it is for Mrs. A Limited? Whatever Mr. X is doing, I am Mr. X. Whatever Mr. X is doing, is it for project A? Is it for Mrs. A Limited? Is it for Mrs. B Limited? Is it for Mrs. C Limited? This is identified through a client. A client is not your English client. This has a different meaning in SAP. It is a logical entity, a logical node. It is a relevant space allotted to Mr. X in Mrs. A Limited, Mrs. B Limited, Mrs. C Limited. You must understand that Mrs. A Limited will be having a different SAP system. Mrs. B Limited will be having a different, because Mrs. A could be in food business. Mrs. B Limited could be in real estate business. Mrs. C Limited could be in media business. Mrs. D Limited could be in some automotive business. So I'm working on all the 4 or the 5 projects. So this is the way the SAP, my system, understands whether Mr. X is working for project A, Mrs. A Limited, Mrs. B Limited, Mrs. C Limited, or Mrs. D Limited. Invariably, this happens. You will not be working on one single project. And this is such a common scenario, especially when you are a consultant, not an end user. You will be working on n number of projects in your career as a consultant. Maybe as a junior consultant, you'll be working on only one project. As a senior consultant, you may still be working on one project, or maybe say 2 projects. Tomorrow you're a team lead. You'll be handling 3 or 4 projects. You're a project manager. You'll be handling 5 or 6 projects. So like this, how do you enter into a specific system? Suppose you are attending a query of Mrs. A Limited. The client will be different. So simply said, it is the logical space by which the SAP system understands on what you're working on which system you are working on. Am I clear? I will pause here for maybe say 2 or 3 minutes. I will just stay quiet and I will take up the questions if you have any. Now it is 3:12. I will stay quiet till 3:15 and I will leave it open for questions after 3:50. All right. Please just try to understand whatever I'm telling you. You can stop me if I'm fast or if I'm explaining too much. Clear? So till 3:15, you need to just think about whatever has happened and come back to me with your questions. Kunal, do we have any questions? Hi, Kunal. You're all able to hear to me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. So, Kunal, I just saw a few questions as to they would want me to show this on the live SAP system. I don't know when this is going to be possible, but if it is possible, definitely I'm going to show this on the SAP system. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. But more than you getting hands-on the SAP system, you need to understand these concepts or these new terms so that working on the SAP system becomes much more easier. You do not have, by the end of this course, we don't expect you to become experts and you don't have to show me whatever on the SAP system. Nothing, absolutely nothing. You are supposed to. Now I got a few questions. What is a client? We will come back to that. Okay. So what is a client? And please confirm if you have understood also. Okay. So that it will become more and more, it'll help me to understand if you have all understood the concept, because these are the building blocks. Tomorrow you may take up SAP as your career or you may not take up. It's wonderful. It's fair enough, not a problem. But if at all after the course, if somebody has asked, somebody is asking you, please tell me very basic things about SAP. You should be in a position, or maybe even in the interview. Tomorrow you undoubtedly are going to become, you're all going to become qualified CMAs. So knowing SAP, a little bit of SAP may also be a wonderful advantage for you people. And the institute has done a wonderful thing by giving you an opportunity, right? Now coming back to, somebody is asking me what is a client. Now, I may not see, simply say, it is a very initial and a very basic information, okay, through which your data flows in the SAP system. See this, I gave you an example as to how your reporting hierarchy takes place. Correct? Now, the data flow hierarchy starts from a concept or from a term called as client. I will show you once I get hold of the SAP system. I don't know when we'll all be getting the SAP system, right? So what is a client? Now, as I said, I may not be necessarily as a senior consultant or as a project manager or as a whatever. I may necessarily not be handling one SAP or one project alone. I may be responsible for the SAP side of Measures A Limited, Measures B Limited, Measures C Limited, Measures D Limited. I may be in charge of the n number of SAP systems. So suppose I want to check on one of the SAP systems. How does SAP know that I'm checking for Measures A Limited? I'm getting into Measures B. I'm getting into Measures C. I'm getting into Measures D. I'm getting into D Limited. I'm getting into A Limited. I'm getting into the SAP system for C Limited. How does the system identify? It is through the client information, what I provide. Now I hope the understanding of client has become easy. I have tried my best to explain theoretically what is a client. Okay. The client in SAP has a different meaning from that of the English client. Normally, we refer to customers as our clients. No, in SAP, your client has a different meaning altogether. It's a logical space within the SAP system. Clear? I'll be talking to you more about this when I come back to a specific topic. But for the understanding of the organizational structure for the finance module, please note that client becomes the first and the foremost information. The first and the foremost entity which has to be entered into the SAP system to identify on what you're working on. I hope I'm clear. Right? Now, I also saw another question. What is a company code? Now, I said I'm working on a project for A Limited, measures A Limited. So A Limited is a company. Okay, it is governed by some legal rules and regulations laid down by the company's law. Clear? So when I work on a project for SAP project for A Limited, I need to build the A Limited as a company code in the SAP system. So basically, your company code is a legal entity which you are creating in the SAP environment. Clear? That is all. One more definition which you can add, or one more line what you can add to define a company code is whatever you identify as the company code, it must be independently generate its own financial statements. It should be in a position to generate its balance sheet, its P&L, trial balance, and whatever may be the other financial information which it has to submit to the governmental agencies. Understood? Shall I pause here for a minute so that you'll be in a position to confirm back whether you have understood this or not? Yes, Concur is associated with SAP. Yes. Yeah, reply, Kunal. That's okay.
Sir, I have already replied.
Yeah, I saw that.
Around 20 questions.
Oh, good, Kunal. Thank you.
Most welcome.
I didn't understand this question. Can you please clarify? whether the company code be referred to as a unit or as a business segment. See here, the segment has a different meaning in SAP. All right, so please clarify your question. Yeah, Kunal, you can reply, not a problem. Okay, Kunal, I'll take up this question. He has asked whether the business division and company code are the same. Right, I'll take up this question.
Sure, sir, you can explain it.
Now, this leads for me to explain to get into an other concept called as segments. Segment or segments. Now, I have A Limited. It is into textile business, let me assume. Okay. This is your company code, Measures A Limited. It is into textile business. Now, let us say it deals with both cloth, ready-mades. It deals with both in ready-mades, men, men and women, undercloth. You have denim, cotton, men, formals and casuals for both men and women. Clear? Now, what is a segment reporting? Actually, I wanted to avoid this explanation because probably I thought I would take it up when I'm dealing with the management accounting. But since there is a question now, I'm forced to explain what is a segment. Please do not get confused. Now, do you see how I've broken up A Limited's business? I'm into cloth, I'm into textile business. I deal with both cloth and ready-mades. For men, I have both formals and casuals. For women also I have both formals and casuals. Right? Now, in this category, I can subdivide half shirt, full arm shirt. Right? I can have any number of. So at what exact point am my A Limited wants to report its functions or wants to understand how its business is doing? Do I want my reporting to have only at the cloth and the ready-mades level? Or is it at the denim or the cotton level? Or is it at the men formals, men casuals, or women formals and women casuals level? These are all the business segments. So your company code is not the same as your segments. Your segment is the basic entity from where you start reporting your results. That is what you see in your course content also. Okay, do I go back? Just give me a moment. This is so stupid. Okay, I saw that. Now read this. Segment reporting is a division of a company. Provides insight into different business related results. How is my ready-made men formals doing? How is my ready-made men casuals doing? In casuals, I can have round neck t-shirts or polos, collared t-shirts. So under men casuals, how is my polo t-shirt working? How is my polo t-shirt business doing? In t-shirts, I can have full arm, half arm. So like this, where exactly does the A limited management wants to have its reporting to start? Where does it want to see the results? Now, are you getting the clarity as to what is a segment and what is a company code? This is what you asked for, right? Have I understood your question correctly? Actually, I wanted to avoid this, but since you came up with a question, I'm answering this. If you have understood, I'll be more than happy. I hope you have understood this question. What is the difference between client and company code? Have I answered that question? A client is the space allotted to a specific user within the respective SAP system. I can be working on A limited project. I can be working for B limited. I can be working for C limited. I can be working for D limited. I'm talking about the projects. I may be an employee of something. I'm an employee of IBM. I work for A limited. I work on SAP projects for A limited, B limited, C limited, D limited. So this is the logical space which identifies on which project I'm working on, which client. Client is not your customer. Client is a logical space within the SAP system which distinguishes that you're working for A limited, you're working for B limited project, you're working for C limited project, you're working for D limited project. I hope I'm clear. Now your company code is your A limited, B limited, C limited, D limited. They are your company codes. I hope I have answered both the questions. Whether the business division and the company code, are they the same? And the difference between the client and the company code. Is that understood? Guys, people who have asked me the question, please let me know if you have understood or not. Only then I can proceed, because these are all the most essential things what you need to understand even before we get into the subject. Of course, we have already got into the subject, but for you to have a clear understanding, I want you to reply back saying whether you have understood, whether I have answered these questions, and if you have understood whatever I have explained. Just answer yes or no, right? If you have understood, say yes. If you have not understood, say no. People who have asked me questions, I'll wait for 2 more minutes, because this seems to be like a repetition, but students, please get these concepts perfectly well, because these are all your building blocks. Kunal, good explanation about the client, but please ask them if they have understood.
Sure, sir.
Wonderful explanation of what is a client. Thank you, Kunal. Students, have you read Mr. Kunal's answer to what is a client? I will copy this and please answer back whether you have understood or not. In SAP, a client is the highest level organizational unit. Typical technical definition of what is a client, but since I thought probably the technical information would not be understandable at this current moment, I gave you the examples of A limited, B limited, C limited, D limited, which would have got different SAP systems. Obviously, right? It represents a self-contained environment with its own master data, its configurations, and the user roles. Did you understand what this is? A limited will have its different master data. B limited may have its own master data, obviously. C limited will have its own master data. D limited will have its own master data and different kinds of users. Can we simultaneously work in various clients at the same time, provided you have two different systems? In one laptop or on one desktop, you cannot have you working on different clients at the same time. You can work only on one client at one point in time. Clear? What is a logical space? Within the SAP system, how the server is being used? How is the server space being used? Is your logical space. A Limited will have its server, B Limited will have its server, C Limited will have its SAP server, D Limited will have its server. And the space what I'm using in their respective servers is the logical space. Why logical? I will tell you more about it when we get into the practical side of SAP. Clear? Understood. Okay. Another explanation on logical space. Please hold on. Okay. Wonderful. 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 This is your study content. This is not the PPT. This is your study content. This is on the enable platform. Kunal, would you be in a position to explain because they're asking me for the PPT?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Student, this is your study content which will be available on SAP Enable 1. Might be some student has received the login credential and might some of them have not received. The student who have not received yet, just email this query to skilltraining@icmai.in.
Students, did you understand what Mr. Kunal? This is the one moment, just a moment. This is not a PPT. This is your study content, which is available to you on the Enable platform. And to get hold of this course content, you need to have received an email having your own user IDs and your passwords for your enable. Clear? And Mr. Kunal just shared a email which you will have to write a mail to in case you have not received these credentials. So did you understand what is segment? I would not spend more time on this because these things come at a later point in time. But what I want you to understand is what a company code is. More importantly, what is a company code? Client also hold it for some time. OK, you need not have to understand what is a legal space and you have time for all that. OK. I will definitely show you all these things at the appropriate time. But you, or rather, we have assembled here to learn more and more about the finance side of SAP. And it becomes very, very important for you to understand what you mean by company code. Because I'll be getting into one other explanation. See, the company code was the third or the fourth point what we discussed. And the first point was the client. Now, what is number 2 and 3? I will tell you. So that could lead to a lot more confusions. So that is why I'm pausing in between so that the understanding becomes very, very clear. So with an assumption that you have all understood whatever you have, this I can make it as point 4 also. Shall I proceed? Yeah, sure. Now, when you talk about a complex project like that of, let us say, you have received a request for implementing SAP for Reliance or for Tata's. Is the Reliance or the Tata's business small or big? It is huge. It is not even big, it is huge. Because these two people, they are into every business, every business. You agree with me? Yeah. Now, let us take a structure, something like this. You have Reliance, correct? What do you have here? Let us say you have Geo, Smart, I'm just taking a few things, okay? So Reliance is into Geo, Smart, Reliance Smart, Reliance Trends, Insurance, Reliance Petro, whatever. Now, Geo can produce its own results, can generate its own balance sheet. Reliance Smart can produce its own balance sheet. Reliance Trends can produce its own balance sheet. Insurance business can produce its own balance sheet and other financial statements. Petro business of Reliance, whatever may be the other consumer business, whatever you may call. So all these are able to generate their own business statements, financial statements. You agree with me? Geo has its own balance sheet, Smart has its own balance sheet. Perfect. Now, what do these companies do? What do these do? Geo, Smart, Trends, Reliance Insurance, Reliance Petro, Reliance Consumers, whatever. What do? They report their results back to the head office. What is the head office? Reliance Group. Yeah. So you have all these entities your Geo, Smart, Trends, Insurance, Consumer, Petro, whatever. You're having this under one parent. Your Reliance Group is the parent. All these at this level, they constitute the company codes because they are able to generate their own independent financial statements. Okay. So they're all your company codes. Understood? This is your parent company. This is your head office. You may call it the head office, you may call it the parent company, you may call it the group company, whatever. By whatever name you are comfortable with, you may call the parent. Now, what is this concept called in SAP or rather in accounting? Consolidation. Consolidation. Now, at this level, Reliance parent level, at this parent level, what is happening? It is consolidating the results of all this company codes. At the parental level, whenever Mr. Mukesh Ambani wants to declare the results of the Reliance group, does he report the business of only Geo or only of Smart or only of Trends? He reports the results of all the businesses of Reliance. Are you getting my point? So this is called as the consolidation. How is Mr. Mukesh Ambani getting the results of all his businesses? Because all the businesses are reporting back to him. They are reporting back to the Reliance parent. I hope you're getting the business picture now. So in SAP, so what is this Reliance called in SAP? This group, I'm talking about the mother company. This is called as, I'll make it number 3. This is called as the company. It is not the company code. It is called as the company. Your parent office, your head office, or your group company is called as the company. All other businesses which report back to the group company, they are referred to as your company codes. For example, if you take Tata's, TCS is a software business of Tata's. It is reporting back to Tata and Sons. Your car, automotive, it's reporting back to the Tata Group. Tata and Sons. Your AIG, Tata Insurance, it is reporting back to Tata Group. Correct? Do you agree with me? Did you understand the business? Forget SAP. Forget SAP at all. Don't bother about SAP. These concepts are there even with or without SAP. This is all happening out of SAP also or outside SAP also.
From Delhi to Britain, Bengal family into Bangladesh.
I hope you have understood these points. So we will stop here for the day. And for 2 or 3 more minutes, let me take up a few questions from your side. Is it sounding interesting, students? Do you see how things are changing in SAP? So now you have two different terminologies to deal with. What is a company and what is a company core? Take a breather for 2 minutes. In the meantime, if anybody has any questions, you're most welcome to ask. But students, these concepts are very, very critical for you to know the subject. Again, I repeat, to know the subject. Mastery is something different. As I said, none of us can be masters in SAP. Clear? Let us have that. If you say, I know everything in SAP, most of them will not accept that answer. All right. So let us try to understand. Okay, but have you understood these concepts? Again, tomorrow, I will start as usual by just revising. Now do you see how closely it is getting connected to the real business scenarios? All I wanted you to do is understand this and always, always think of SAP from the practical business. So Tata company was there even with or without SAP, right? So whatever is happening in the real business is being converted into SAP. That is all. Good. It's getting interesting. Thank you. Very nice. Lovely. It is applied strategically at all levels. Please clarify your question tomorrow. OK. One Rohit Roy, he has asked me whether
I have put it in a public section, sir. Tomorrow we will take it that.
Sure, sure. So shall we wind up, Kunal?
Sure, sir. Thank you, student, for today's session. Right now we are winding up the session, and tomorrow again we will meet at 11 o'clock for the next session.
Thank you, students. Bye bye.